Hi, folks. Sean Doolan of counsel to the law offices of Martin Harding and Mazzotti. I want to take a moment today to talk to you about immunity. In recent weeks, you've heard about how Governor Cuomo granted immunity to the owners and operators of nursing homes from lawsuits. And that dates back to March of 2020 when the pandemic really hit New York hard. Governor Cuomo issued an executive order granting immunity. That was followed by legislation when it was inserted into the budget, for the most part unnoticed. And in my entire career, decades of practicing law, I've never seen or even heard of an immunity statute of this nature. I never even thought that we would ever see anything like this. It's nothing I've ever contemplated. Uh, but here we are. And let me tell you what that immunity statute covers. It's very broad. In fact, I think there's only one or two other states in the country that have anything similar. Essentially, if a nursing home is caring for COVID patients, and could be as simple as one COVID patient, they have immunity. And that immunity doesn't actually prevent lawsuits. What it does is it gives them what we call an affirmative defense. It gives them an absolute defense, though, to a lawsuit. So the case would ultimately be dismissed, or they would lose the case at trial, the plaintiff would, if this immunity prevails. And it covers any claim, not just COVID claims. If it was covering COVID claims, it would make more sense. But it doesn't cover just COVID claims. In other words, if you had bed sores because they neglected to turn and reposition you, or they didn't keep your skin clean and dry, basic custodial care that they have to do, whether it's COVID or no COVID, they still would be immune from lawsuits in the context that I've mentioned. So if they dropped you from a Hoyer lift while transferring you and you fractured a hip, same thing. And other forms of neglect and abuse. Now, there are some exceptions. Gross negligence is not covered, so they don't have immunity from gross negligence. But I can tell you in my entire career, I've seen very few cases of gross negligence that have prevailed in a courtroom. It's an extremely high standard. So that's not going to allow for these families to seek justice. The good news is in August of 2020, the COVID immunity statute was revised so that it didn't cover all claims. It just related to COVID claims. Now, in a different video, I'm going to talk about why I think this immunity statute was put in place, the real motive. The publicly stated motive by the governor was so that nursing home facilities, the owners and operators, didn't have to worry about lawsuits. They could focus on caring for COVID patients. And if they had done that properly, I think that might have made sense, but they didn't. They dropped the ball. We had thousands and thousands and thousands of nursing home residents die of COVID. And I think in time we'll realize that many of those deaths could have been avoided. That these facilities had poor infection control practices, and now with immunity, they didn't have to worry about getting sued. And then to extend it and broaden it to cover all injuries in nursing homes, time will show, I believe, led to even more abuse. And they didn't even get COVID right. You know, that's the thing. They dropped the ball there as well. So I'll talk about what I believe the governor's real motives were in another video. But to just give you a sense of where I'm going with it, you've heard the expression, follow the money. Well, we'll be talking about that soon. Be well, stay safe, take care.